So now that your goal is to get shredded this year, where has your head been at with training lately? Like, do you feel like you're pushing, or do you feel like you're excited to come in here?
I'm still getting back to that. So I've cut out, so I was playing tennis like 2 to 3 days a week for the last few months. So I'm done with that. So I'm starting to get that. For me to get back on a bodybuilding stage, I got to start putting a lot more emphasis on quality of my workouts, not just getting them in. So yeah.
Like specificity, like just putting more focus on that.
Yeah. The one thing I have not missed out on is like back training. I don't miss back days, but you know, I've had some shoulder pain here and there, some knee pain here and there, but I never miss back days. So I've just got to pick up the volume for my overall training before I start grinding down leaner, but that's no problem. And I mean, my backing off is most people's 10 out of 10. Like,
yeah.
I'm still training 4 to 5 days a week.
Right.
I just don't feel like I've been pushing myself for various reasons. One being fatigue. You know, I got really involved in tennis for a while, and I was playing sometimes 3-4 days a week, and that was beating me up. So I'm done with that, so I can focus on this.
So what's the goal with today's session?
Today's pretty much just a lower body day, quads, hamstrings, a little bit of glutes. At 49 years old, my goal is secondly to feel good, is primarily to feel good tomorrow, but I'd like to continue to put on muscle on my legs. That's why I like this movement, because what I found is that unilateral movements feel better on my knees. If I try to squat both feet together, my knees inevitably hurt the next day. This is the first movement I've done in a long time where I never have knee pain the next day. And if you walk the movement, I start going back. So when I shift, all my weight goes back. Versus if you do a typical squat, you're going to push your knees forward. So I've just found that this really warms me up and I feel good. I'm gonna add some resistance here in a minute. But yeah, for me, this is the perfect warm-up because I'm just isolating each leg. My movement patterns are better because it's one leg versus when my feet are together, my hips, my knees, everything have to move in a different manner. So yeah, I've been doing these for about 2 years now. I've gotten quite strong at them, at least for me. You know, I'll get up to over 100 pounds per leg, which is nothing crazy, but the crazy part is that I'm doing it and I have zero pain. You can also, you know, spot yourself if you need. So today will just be all lower body, trying to grow. And I try to keep the weight over the center of my foot. I always try to get my hip at or below parallel, so I'm getting, you know, all these muscles are fully stretched. So now I'm gonna add resistance.
This is a random one. What's your most ridiculous gym pet peeve?
It's probably when people train right in front of the dumbbell rack. Like, so you can't walk by, you can't grab weights.
Right.
Especially when there's lots of space. So like, there's like a 3-foot gap, so people can walk by and grab weights, but people stand right in front of the whack and do something. To me, that's just like, hey, you don't give a frick about anybody else. We're all here to serve you.
Right.
It's my last one of these. I didn't train legs this last week, so I know like I can't do my normal volume. So this will be a volume build back up, but I feel good, so.
I know you've been training for like multiple decades at this point. You know, I mean, you run a full-time business,
Multiple decades.
Full-time coach, you have kids, all this stuff, and you're human, so I'm sure motivation dips from time to time. That being said, what do you do when you are having those moments of like not being as motivated to get in here? Like, do you have anything that you tell yourself, or you just...
Yeah, I mean, I give myself grace. If I feel like I need a day off, I take a day off. I don't beat myself up over trying to be perfect all the time. What I've noticed over the years is instead of taking 2 weeks off or 2 months off like I did when I was younger, you know, I'd be all gung-ho and then I would cut it out. Now, if I take a day or two off, that's about it. Now I notice that the training makes me feel better. So I feel better after I lift. I feel better the day after I lift. So if I have multiple days where I'm not lifting, it mentally takes a toll on me. So this physical exertion improves my mental exertion in other areas.
Yeah.
So, and I think the thing that I do now is I don't put any pressure on myself. If I come in the gym one day and I'm like, my knee hurts, my shoulder hurts. Like I said, my number one goal is feeling good the next day after I lift. So I don't put pressure on myself. However, if I'm warming up on the dumbbells and the 75s are flying, shoot, I might try 125s that day, right? So it's like, each day I come to the gym with a kind of a plan, but I'll adjust it. So that helps me stay motivated by coming here. And there's literally been days where I've walked in, worked out for 10 minutes and left. It's like, I just don't got it today. You know, whereas like when I was younger, when I first got into bodybuilding, if I walked in the gym and I was beat up, I was like, nah, I'd have an extra drink and I'd wake up really sore the next day because I beat myself up. So yeah. Bodybuilding is the only sport where it pays to be short, except for being a horse jockey.
That's right, 5'7", just yoked. Talking about that, like, do you think the fitness game has changed a lot since 2015 compared to now?
Yeah, because everybody is their own content team now.
Right, back then there was only a couple people.
10 years ago, it wasn't a lot of people doing YouTube, Instagram. I don't even think Instagram existed yet. Maybe it did, but very early. And then podcasting wasn't really popular. It always feels like everyone's already doing the thing you should be doing. I remember that when I started YouTube, and 16 years ago I started YouTube, and I remember thinking like...
18 years ago.
18, yeah. So I remember thinking like, what's the point? Everyone's already doing it. Like, yeah, now look.
That's crazy, man. Your first couple of videos were just you playing the guitar and stuff.
Yeah, I used to watch guitar videos. That's how I learned how to play. So I was like, oh, let me record myself. And I was like, oh, I don't sound terrible. Let me put it on there. And I never became Shawn Mendes. That's literally how he got discovered. I think Justin Bieber saw a YouTube video.
Yeah, YouTube.
I don't know. I could have my facts way wrong, but see how this feels today. This is one that can bother my knees sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. a week. Oh man, it feels good though.
How the knees feeling?
It's something about being locked in like that. It does cause a little bit of stress right there. I'm done with this. I might try the leg press. They have a really nice leg press.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, it's like, have you ever not trained legs for a while and then all of a sudden you do dumbbell RDLs and then your hamstrings
I get cramps. Like, like while I'll be going up and it'll be like starting to lock up.
Yeah. Your legs be cooked.
Yeah, they get cooked, bro. No cap.
I don't think you're young enough to be saying that, man. I don't know. Rip.
Kids, keep you young, because there's no way I would know what any of that crap means if it wasn't for Sloan. I still want to dunk one more time in my life. I feel like if I lose a little bit of body fat, get a little lighter, work on some explosiveness, training these big muscles, I could dunk again. It's been a minute. Knees feel good. I just got to cut out the tennis. See right there, I had a little bit of pain.
What's a fitness rule that you think is BS?
There's a lot of them.
The one that comes to mind.
I mean, the most common one when I was young was you can only train a body part once a week. Because when I started training things twice a week is when I started making progress. Yeah, you make some initial progress when you train once a week, but you hit a plateau and then, you know, I don't think you benefit from doing, let's say you were doing 15 or 20 sets per body part and you're doing it once a week. What's next? 25 to 30 sets per body part? Well, what if instead of that you did 12 sets per body part twice a week? And in some instances with my female competitors, I have them train glutes 3 days a week, but maybe only 12 sets. So they're recovered. So yeah, I think the biggest, well, I mean, I guess the biggest BS thing would be that training frequency can only be one way or the other. You know, if you're trying to get better at a skill, you're going to do it every day. So what's your goal? To build muscle, to improve the skill? Yeah.